Hey y'all, it is March the 3rd, 2018, and I wanted to talk with y'all briefly. I'll probably elaborate on it more, and I look forward to having discussions with people and concerns with. Lots of times I'll talk about autism. I have a whole playlist dedicated to it, and there's all sort of other things that I have never mentioned that eventually, hopefully in the future, I plan to bring up and discuss with people concerning autism. Now, I want to bring up in particular the whole thing behind eye contact, which a lot of autistic people um, have trouble with. All right, that's kind of a known factor when it comes to a lot of autistic people is they'll have trouble giving you eye contact. Now, like I said, we can elaborate and go in on this topic in great detail. You know what I'm saying? But suffice it to say, I just want to lend you the perspective that these autistic people, their brains work. Sometimes it's out of their control. So what happens is the young autistic person, their brains understand, even if they don't conscientiously understand. Their brains already have gathered that most people around them are completely disingenuous, completely. Right? And their brains understand it. This is why you have young children who are autistic, very young children, and they won't be able to look you in the eye. That's because even if they don't know it, their brains understand that everybody around them, for the most part, is completely disingenuous. They're living in a world full of fake people, and they understand that if they're going to survive or have any sort of life, what I'm saying, that they can appreciate themselves, that they basically have to not look anybody in the eye. This is a primal thing. You note that in animal cultures, that's very big. Looking at another fellow animal in the eye, that's actually a crucial thing. All right, sometimes that means we're about to fight to the death. Sometimes it really does. But I just wanted to point that out. It's the brain, it's something inside the brain that realizes that everything taking place around them is disingenuous. And so, therefore, it gets to the point where looking at a person in the eye is very disturbing for some of these young children. And, of course, older adult people with autism. Looking at people in their disingenuous eyes becomes very disturbing for them. And it'll get to the point where it causes panic attacks and things of that nature. Like I said, in some animal cultures, it's a very aggressive act. Right? In the human culture, it's supposed to be a genuine thing to look people in the eye, except a lot of people ain't genuine. A lot of people are disingenuous. All right, and I just wanted to point that out. And I guess just to briefly explain that, me personally, in my autism, I do understand that that is the factor when it comes to people in eye contact. I've understood this for a while, and so even though in my youth I've had trouble looking at folks in the eye, these past few years I make it a point to look at you in the eye. Anybody who comes, if you walk past me, I'm looking at you in the eye. I'm waving at you. I'm saying hello. I'm saying good morning, even if I don't want to talk to you. I'll still say it just to make a point of it. And just to let you know, in my experience over these past few years, that most people are responsive. Like, especially in Texas, if you look at people in the eye, they expect you to for you to look them in the eye. That's kind of the culture of Texas. They expect you to say howdy or hi or something like that, even if nothing else. Right? Most people here in Texas, but at the same time, there will still be some people, to include and especially young children who've grown up in a very odd culture, who, no matter what, will not look you in the eye. Like I mean, they'll go out of their way to not look at you, to not acknowledge you. Number one, I gotta say that that's dangerous, because if I had bad intent on you, the fact that you're refusing to look at me is making it just easy. It's making it easy for me to take advantage of you if I did want to. If I wanted to knock you over the head, I would do it with the greatest of ease, because you're not aware, you're not paying attention. You know what I'm saying? And there's people, like I said, it's a small fraction of people who no matter what, even if they're your neighbors, even if they see you every day, even if they're your coworkers or something, they will go out of their way to not look you in the eye. And what I want to explain about that is being as this is my practice to look at everybody in the eye and tell them hello or something like that. What I gotta say is, for the small fraction of people who refuse, who will absolutely refuse, even though maybe they don't know you, maybe they've never had a conversation with you, they'll go out of their way to not look you in the eye. What I got to explain about those people is that I know, even without saying a word to you, that you don't have self-confidence, number one, and number two, that you're ashamed of yourself. You're ashamed of your own actions and your behaviors. No, I don't know what your actions and behaviors are, and I'm not going to speculate, but I know for a fact that you're ashamed of yourself, right? No matter what little act you want to put on, like, oh, I'm an important person. Oh, I have good intentions. No, you don't, because the thing is, you go out of your way to do something that 99% of people don't. You go out of your way to not look at me. And that's the thing. I just want to put that out there is, at the end of the day, I don't care about your feelings. You know what I'm saying? Your opinions are one thing, but at the end of the day, I'm more concerned with facts and truth. You bring me evidence. You bring me truth. Because if you're not, I'm going to blow you off. I just don't care. And this vibe comes off of me. I mean, it's not hard to tell. And so when people walk by me, just the fact, I mean, they get that vibe off of me and they know. Don't look at them. Don't look at them. I mean, look at me. I come across like elderly ladies and things all the time. I give them flash them a little smile. Guess what? They smile back at me. Guess what? They start blushing and stuff. That's usually what happens. I have a very friendly face. So, so I know when you're walking by me and you're acting like I'm the boogeyman, I know it's because you're ashamed of yourself. I know it's because you're a very disingenuous person. And I don't have to say a word to you. But see, that's the depth of eye contact. This is the reason why most autistic people have trouble with eye contact. Their brain knows that something is wrong. And meanwhile, everybody else around them usually doesn't understand that that's what's happening, because they themselves are disingenuous. They themselves really don't care at the end of the day what's going on in the autistic brain. All right, I just wanted to holler at y'all about that. It's March the 3rd, 2018, and I'll holler at y'all later.